Cloud Speed is your gateway to AI and the cloud.
Welcome back to Cloud Speed. So today's project is a continuation of the project we did the last time in this series, which was a beginner's project. What we did on that project was that we were able to retrieve a web page and we converted it to
About
speech.
store Gmail images, sign and see more, delete, report inappropriate predictions, advertising, business.
So if you notice, it was not as good as we wanted. So today's project, we'll be doing almost the same thing, but we'll be adding another step to it. So rather than retrieving the web pages and just converting the text and pushing it to the text to voice, we'll be using AI in this video to treat the data. We'll be able to retrieve the useful content and we're able to add more context to the text we retrieve from the page. Like we're able to add pauses and paragraphs to this text, so it will be properly voiced by our AI. So what we'll be using in this case, we'll be using Amazon Bedrock for this particular project. As always, we have the documentation for you. It will be given in the description of this video. So all you have to do is to clone the repo, which will be given in the description. When you clone it, you have access to the code, you have access to the packages. You don't have to install any package. You have access to the docs. So while flowing through the video, you can get the docs and follow through as well. You get the commands we used exactly as we have used them, and you can get the step by step. In case you don't want to go through with the video, you can always go through the repo and the documentation to follow through with the same project. So you know what, let's get started. So the first step we have for this particular project is to create our Lambda function, and the sub step for this particular step is we use a Python runtime, then we enable Lambda function URL. We set the Lambda timeout to 1 to 2 minutes. I hope that will be enough, but I'll set it to 4 in this case because now we're adding more steps to our functionality or our code. So let's take a look at the code. So this is the code base for this particular project. So we can locate the Lambda code under the Lambda function. So you can see the code base. So I'll try to go through the code and tell you each specific functionality. So we extract the raw text over here. Then we try to check if the page being retrieved is SPA, which is a single page application. Single page applications requires a device to be able to load on. And in this case, our Lambda function is not specifically a device or a server. Yeah, so for most other web pages that are not single page, it is being the page is being created, or it may be static, and then it can be sent to your Lambda function, which your Lambda function can read whatever detail it needs. But for single page application, it needs a device for it to be able to build on before the page can be ready to build. So in this case, we cannot convert single page applications to speech. Then we have the call Bedrock cloud. So this is where we call our Bedrock. I'll be using Anthropic Cloud in this case. Then we have the process with Bedrock. So this is what our prompt is like. Our prompt is simply just saying, take this raw HTML content of the web page, extract the structure, meaningful text for natural speech, add appropriate punctuation, commas, full stop, etc. Then remove the navigation, footers, ads, and irrelevant content. Then you output clean, plain text suitable for text-to-speech reading, which will be unlike what we did for the beginners project, where it just extracted the text and converted it to speech, and it was annoying to listen to. Then we have the synthesize with poly. Yeah, this is where we convert to speech. Then we have the Lambda handler. I also want to state that in this particular code base, what we did was that when we retrieve the web page, we try to split the text, or rather the content of the web page, because as you know, AI models have limits to the amount of text they can receive at one go. So we split the text into the limit of the text they can receive, and then after extracting the useful text from each particular split of that particular page, we're able to add them all together back again and convert to speech. So I think that is all for the Lambda function. Then also note that we have the requirements or the packages we'll be needing for our Lambda function, because as you know, Lambda functions have they usually don't come with pre-installed packages. So some packages you have to install yourself. So that is all. So according to our documentation, it says we should create our Lambda function. So you go to your Lambda console. As you can see, I'm already on my Lambda console. What I do now is I create my Lambda function. So we can name this voice. We'll name it the same name we gave it for the previous project. And recall, it says we should use Python. We'll be using Python 3.12. Yeah. Then we are not changing anything here. Then we'll change the default execution role. So we'll create a new one in this case because I don't have any role in this particular account. Then we add additional configuration. Yeah, we'll be using the Lambda function URL. We'll not be using API gateway. API gateway we add in more complexity, but for production use cases you might need API gateway, but in this case we don't really need to. We use the function URL directly. We select none because we want anybody or we want to call the function from any point. We don't need IAM at authentication. Yeah, so that is it. We'll just go through our function again to ensure we've created the right things. And you know what, we create the function. Then going back to the documentation, it says we set Lambda timeout. So after creating the function, that's when we can set the Lambda timeout. Okay, our function is being created. Okay, our function is being created. We can go to the configuration. On the configuration, that's where we can set the Lambda timeout. We use 4. And you know what? Let's also set the memory, because increasing the memory capacity also means our function will process whatever it needs to process faster. To make our function run faster. So let's make it 400. We'll make it 400. Yeah, 400 megabytes. And then we set the timeout to, like I mentioned before, let's make it 5 minutes. Okay, then we are using execution rule. Okay, we save this, then we'll go back to our documentation. Documentation says we should grant required IAM permissions to the execution rule of our Lambda function. So we are granting Amazon Poly full access and Amazon Bedrock full access because we're using Amazon Poly to convert the text or the content of our web page to voice. Then we'll be using Amazon Bedrock to using the AI model on Bedrock to extract the meaningful content from the web page. So I don't think I mentioned earlier, there are other libraries you can use to extract content from web pages, but AI is way better at extracting content from web pages. All other methods are usually, should I say, they are usually structured, so they can't really do a good job compared to AI. And as you know, we are in the AI wave, so we have to apply what's best, and we have access to lots of AI models and very good models. So it's now very possible to extract content perfectly from web pages using AI. So let's get to the Lambda execution rule in this case. You locate your Lambda execution rule at your configuration, you come to permissions, then you see your Lambda execution rule over here. You click on it to open on a new tab. And so let's go copy the role, the permissions we need, or rather the policy. We need an Amazon Poly full access. So go back to your console. Yeah, so this is your role. You click on attach policies. So you want to attach the policies directly rather than writing your policies. So attach policies, then okay, let's pause a little bit. Okay, yeah, now we can see the policies we can attach to our row. So you copy and paste that specific Amazon Poly row, paste it over here. You can see your row, you select it, and then you add well, you know what, after selecting, you can clear it, you copy the other one, and you can also add it as well. Okay, Amazon Bedrock full access. After copying it, you come over here, you search for it, you select it, yeah, then you add it. So in this case, you are adding 2 policies to your Lambda execution row. Yeah, it has been added. So we obviously will see the 2 policies we added when, yes, we can see the 2 policies we added. Now we are sure we have successfully added the policies. So going back to your documentation, it says you should upload your code to your Lambda environment. So package the code into the zip file and upload the Lambda environment. So you are packaging the package folder. So let's go to this to the code base. So what we are packaging is the package folder. So the package folder contains the packages, or rather dependencies, and it contains our Lambda function. So you can go to your file, and then you click on packages. So you are packaging everything here. Yeah. So you click on that to archive, then you zip it. Okay, that's great. Yeah, so you zip it. Then you go to your Lambda environment, you click on code. Yeah, you go to upload from. You select zip file. Then you upload from the zip file. You select the package over here. You open it. Okay. Then you save. Yeah, you save it. All right, our function has been successfully updated. So we have successfully uploaded our package to Lambda. It actually took a humongous amount of time to upload, but I'm happy it's finally uploaded, even for a package file of just 1.75 megabytes. Okay, so now we can take a look at our Lambda function. Can take a look at the content, which is exactly the code which I gave earlier. So it has been deployed automatically. You don't have to deploy it again. So you go back to the documentation, so we can see the next step. Next step for us is to build our Streamlit front end. So you build your Streamlit on your local computer, so you don't have to build it from Lambda or something. And the code for the Streamlit is also on the code base. You don't have to write the code all over again, so you can see it on the app.py file. Yeah. Okay, you can see it on the app.py file. It's just a simple interface. It takes the URL you gave it, and then you have to select the voice and language you want to use in this case. Then send it to the Lambda function. Then the Lambda function does whatever it does with it and sends back the voice. Then Streamlit converts the voice from base64 to a voice file actually. Then you can play it from the front end, from the Streamlit front end directly. So it's just a simple front-end application. As you know, Streamlit is the open source library used for building simple front-end applications on Python. So the sub-step for that particular step is to update the Streamlit code to use our Lambda function URL. So you go to your Lambda console, you come over, you see your Lambda function URL. Recall that you set none for the caller authentication. That means you can call your Lambda function from anywhere without being authenticated. So you copy your Lambda function URL and then you paste it over here. You save the code. Remember to save your code. Then now you can run your Streamlit application. You use the command streamlit run app.py. Okay, you go to your Lambda. You open a terminal. You can open a terminal from shortcut. You're just using Shift Control Y. Then to open for you. Okay, then you paste your code. Okay, it's taking some time to build up. Okay, that started building, and you can see the interface is coming up already. Okay, it's just a simple interface, no much complexity. So our documentation also says you can interact with the Streamlit interface. We put in a webpage URL like google.com. So let's try google.com to see that our application is working. Then change the voice or language if needed. So go to your Streamlit, paste in google.com, then you let's leave the voice as Okay, so we have successfully converted our Google page to audio or speech. So let's hear what it sounds like. Hope it sounds very good.
Here is the meaningful text extracted and structured for natural speech, with appropriate punctuation added and irrelevant content removed. Google. Google search homepage. Search the world's information, including web pages.
Okay, we need to ensure we tell it to remove those extra statements it added. So we'll go back to our Lambda function and add that prompt to ensure it removes those extra statements. Those very relevant. So we'll come over here and say something like, do not add extra statements. Only give us the contents back. Else the project would else it will be terrible for user experience. Else it will be terrible for user experience. Now we deploy this and we'll go back and try it again. Let's wash out our code as it deploys. Okay, we'll move this, then we'll try it one more time. So as it's trying to generate, let's take a look at this page I saw over here, humanity. So we'll also try this page as well. So this is just a dictionary page talking about humanity. So we want to be able to read this page as well. So copy this page. Then, okay, let's see what it sounds like.
Here is the meaningful text extracted and structured for natural speech, with appropriate punctuation. Google. Search or type a web address.
Seems like you can get it. Give us only the web page content back. Let's say important. Then we'll deploy again to see if it works. And as well say important. We'll deploy again. Let's wait till it fully deploys. Okay, let's try it again.
Here is the meaningful text extracted
and we generate again. Let's play it to see what it sounds like.
Google search. I'm feeling lucky. Advertising programs business solutions about Google. Google offered in Hindi Marathi.
Okay, this sounds okay. So what we can do is we can go online, then we check for a simple web page, maybe like a dictionary, and then we'll be able to convert that dictionary page to useful speech content. So let's say meaning of demographics. Let's use this dictionary. Okay, I think this is okay. So we'll take this page, we'll get it, then we'll paste it here. Let's remove this one. Okay, then we generate the speech. Okay, it has been generated. Then we can Okay, let's play it.
Demographics definition. 1. The number and characteristics of people who live in a particular area or form a particular group. Learn more.
Okay, so we can see it over here. Close this. The number and characteristics of people who live in a particular area or form a particular group, especially in relation to their age, how much money they have and what they spend it on. So this should be in longer text form, which is part of what we'll be doing in the professional demonstration of this project. So we know I mentioned earlier I'll be doing it step by step. So when we get to the professional version of this app, so we added more functionalities or more features to enable it convert the whole page to speech, or rather the most useful content of the page to speech. So that is what we'll be doing in the next demonstration of this project. So we can also try it for other language. Let's try it for Spanish.
Demographics definition. 1. The number and characteristics of people who live in a particular area or form a particular. Learn more.
Okay, so I think this is good enough. So what I will encourage you now is to delete the resources you created, which is your Lambda, but your other services like your Poly and your Bedrock, those are serverless services. You don't have to delete any resource. Then you can as well delete your row. But you can also leave them in case you want to follow through with the next project, which is the professional version of this particular application. Then you don't have to start creating your Lambda, start creating your role again. So you just have to update the code base and probably the features on the front-end application. So I encourage you to like this video, then subscribe to our channel. So when we release the other version of this particular project, you will be able to get it firsthand and be able to practice along and show it as a demonstration to others to show the skills you have acquired through these projects. So thank you so much, and please subscribe and like our channel. Thank you.
CloudSpeed is your gateway to AI and the cloud. We make videos showing you the latest in tech, and we break down the real-world use cases. If you found this helpful, hit that subscribe button and tap the bell icon so you don't miss any updates. Thanks for watching.